everyone, my name is Clay and welcome to Terminally Nerdy, and today we have another plot hook video for you. I dubbed this plot hook the Stalker of the Wood. The basic premise is a bandit, goblin, some intelligent creature that can speak, stumbles into the town that the party is in. They're broken, they're bleeding, they are near death. They inform the party that something has appeared in the nearby forest. It's killing indiscriminately, and it's moving directly towards the town. Now, this is a very simplistic plot, almost out of a monster movie. And the ways you can adapt this plot to use it in your own game is fairly varied. Now, for example, if it was like a little goblin who did it, almost anything would terrify a goblin. It could be as simple as the goblin's talking about a great beast with fur and claws, and it could just be simply a big old brown bear that just happens to be rabies, a rabbit. If it's a bandit, he could talk about an amalgamation of corpses, a walking horror. And, there's like a nearby necromancer who unleashed a failed experiment out into the woods. You can do a lot with a plot like this. The first thing that popped in my head was, for example, the necromancer. And this is how you can take a simple plot line like this and kind of run with it. So, players are in the town. Bandit comes into town dying. Party, of course, wants to know what's going on. Why the hell there's a dying man in the middle of town? So they run up and they start asking him questions, and he responds very simply with, a horrible, monstrosity is killing everything in the forest. It reeks of death and decay. I didn't get a good look at it. I tried to escape it, and this is as far as I could get, and then he collapses. Whether or not he dies is, of course, up to you. The party enters the woods and maybe come across the trail of this thing, and it's tearing up entire trees. It's ripping and ravishing and just killing everything and leaving the bodies broken and lying. Or even worse, it's taking parts of the bodies. And when they finally come across it, it's some sort of horrible necromantic abomination. And let's say it's taken the parts of the bodies, it's been grafting them onto itself. It's trying to improve itself. So of course they fight it and they kill it. And that could be the end right there. That would be the end to the Stalker portion of this. But how do you go from there? Well, who made it? That's the first question. So you as the DM could decide, well, there's a necromancer that I want that's sort of building an army, and I want them to kind of make their way towards him. Well, this could lead them to that without them ever realizing that was actually your end goal. So they maybe backtrack the trail of this thing and they find a drop-off point. And then, they maybe investigate around there and they find somebody who saw like a man in a mysterious cloak throw this thing out of the back of a wagon and haul ass. They track the wagon trail, they find the tower, and they investigate the tower, and they find out that this was a lab for a while of this necromancer. Maybe they find some books, maybe they find some lab notes, and they start piecing together that there's some sort of crazed necromancer in the region running amok, dropping off horrible monstrosities in an attempt to do something. And you essentially have a Frankenstein's monster scenario, only with maybe a moving guy. Like, the necromancer keeps changing labs, so that way nobody ever comes across him. Or it could be just as simple as the Stalker, as I said, like a bear. It could be a dire bear. A rabid dire bear is huge, and if it's rampaging, goblins and bandits and things, they may just be like it's a horrible furred monster running amok. And it could be as simple as that, and it just gives the party kind of an off night, like a little side mission. They go in the forest, they find the bear, they either pacify or kill the bear. Or if you want to get a little more interesting, it could be a druid. Now, a lot of people think of druids, they have to be good, but that's incorrect. Some druids traditionally hate civilization. They think that the natural order is the correct way. So perhaps a druid who has mastered shapeshifting has shifted himself into some sort of horrible furred monstrosity, and he's just rampaging in the woods, killing bandits and people who are invading his territory. He considers that wood his grove, and he's slowly expanding his grove. And maybe he aims, the party doesn't know this, but he aims as he's moving towards the town to take the town out. It could be a group of lycanthropes. They've decided that the woods are their territory. They're going to take the town out because the town's on the wood border and they don't want those humans there. It could be as simple as that, and then the party either has to negotiate with the lycanthropes or wipe them out. This is how a simple plot idea of monster in the forest going towards town can be expanded into a variety of ways. So how about you? What would you do for a monster in the forest coming to town plotline? How would you expand it, or how would you set it up? I'm curious to hear about it in the comments below. If you have any questions, feel free to give them to me in the comments as well. As always, if you like what I'm doing, hit that like button. If you don't like it, feel free to hit the dislike button. Feel free to subscribe for more videos and such, and feel free to support me on Patreon if you so desire. And as always, thanks for watching, and remember, stay nerdy!